Oh hey, Singularity 6 answered more questions! Oh, no. They've been out for how long? Oh, not again. Sorry about the delay. I've been having fun with Splatoon 3, Harvestella, and Fall Guys recently, and I didn't really feel like doing much else, so I didn't. But hey, I'm back now, so let's get my mediocre opinions on different answers Singularity 6 gave to your questions. Some of these may be a bit more sarcastic or negative than other recent question and answers that I put out, but I was just sort of in a mood when I wrote this. Okay, first question first, and I'm going to read the main parts of these questions. So when it comes to player progression, how does Palia intend to keep players coming back? Their answer to this is somewhat interesting. Essentially, it boils down to two areas. Skills are designed in a way that continuous updates will expand on them, which gives players a reason to come back, and the other is that housing customization is a long-term goal that mixes into other systems. So it may take a while to get everything looking exactly how you want. But, and this is important to me, they didn't really answer the core of the question. What are they going to do to keep me, a player, coming back to the game? In Splatoon, I return for numbers, ranks, and to get my outfits, because clothing is endgame, even in shooters. In Harvestella, I return to see the story and to do a better job at getting through it. These are all short-term things that keep me coming back to the game. If housing and skills are long-term, what are the short-term activities that make me want to play? Or is this game more like GTA 5, where I come back once or twice a year to see content and then leave again? Question 2. Is there a roadmap for testing or a release date? They wrote a lot of stuff in order to say no, and it won't be released this year. Will there be customization beyond the house? For example, gardens or backyards? Yes, there are outdoor furnishings and customizations, including fences and walkways that will come in different sizes, as well as flowers. And given the game is a farming sim of sorts, one would hope that gardens would be available. Question 4. Given that Palia is an MMO, if several players want to romance one character, how will that be handled? Okay, I've read the Singularity 6 answer, and I could summarize it here, but instead I want to give you my own. Mostly because I feel that Singularity 6 are being too diplomatic with not enough snark. So in most MMOs, there are elements of a story where you can work with others, maybe even mess with each other's games. With that said, a majority of them also have a solo story where player decisions are not and cannot be influenced by other players. In MMOs with romance, they almost always fall into the latter. Romance is a single player experience even in most MMOs, so other players cannot and will not influence or take part in them. Given that Palia is an MMO, I would expect the same. Oh, and look, it is. Question 5, can we get some small footage of the game? Well, this one is pretty easy. Will there be aquariums or terrariums to show off our caught critters? It's already there, and here's a couple of pics that they posted showing them. Question 7. Is the language you've shown off a constructed language, a script for English, or just scribbles? So, here are some pictures of what they're talking about. Singularity 6 revealed that this is an English cipher. In a cipher's simplest form, all this means is that each symbol represents or replaces a letter in English. So if you know which letter each symbol corresponds to, then you can easily figure out what it says. This is a pretty cheap and smart way to add a bit of mystery and world building to a game without really making an entire language, so kudos to them. Question 8. Can you reveal any symbol, sigil, crest of arms, logo, or anything else from the Palia world? No, they don't have any to reveal. That said, the imagery of family crests and iconography does play a role in the game. Basically, individual families and their positions may be important in some regard to the culture of the world, which Ash's position hinted at already. The penultimate question, could you tell us more about the villagers? There's a vast cast of characters for you to meet in the game, with each NPC having their own unique set of quest lines. Some of these quests are personal for the character, and some have you learn more about the overall world. Some of the NPCs are romanceable and will have optional quest lines to go along with that. So, after that review of what we knew, some things we didn't know. Each villager does have their own schedule with a work life, home life, and hobbies to learn about. Everyone also has their own personal spaces that are decorated for them. Okay, it's time for the final question. Are there certain non-traditional MMO UI or mechanic choices you'd like to share? They try to answer this question. They really do. The first paragraph is about the villagers and is just the previous answer. With that said, outside of the daily schedules, which are more typical to farming and life sim games, everything else has been done in other MMOs. SWTOR has a varied cast of companions that you can talk to and romance, and that's been an MMO for 10 years now. The next paragraph is how the world is adventurous, so you can climb hills, jump off cliffs, and explore things by gliding into the distance. Sort of like ArcAge, which, to be fair, is only 9 years old. And the final paragraph is about how the skills are focused around progressions like mining and cooking, not combat skills. This is probably the furthest from a traditional MMO mechanic, as the whole game is built around the Dancer or Crafter classes from Star Wars Galaxies, which is 18 years old. Rest in peace, Star Wars Galaxies. I guess we have very different takes on this question, or maybe the devs making an MMO haven't tried any outside of World of Warcraft. At this point, it's a bit hard to tell. This was all 10 questions. Maybe you can see from my attitude why I didn't rush to make this video. But if you're interested in other opinions of mine, here's a video I did recently on Harvestella, an upcoming live sim RPG from Square Enix. Thanks for watching.